Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy. Funk, thinking right out here in the wee hours of the morning. What I do, what I do for you. I got a nice little lesson for you today. I'm gonna take some flack for this one. You know how I do. Let's rock. Rightism. 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. The message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receive. I appreciate you. Let's do what we do. We got a good thing going. Let's rock. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. That's the goal, or that's my mission, is to get all right thinkers to do just that. Know thyself with information and practice. You do just that. I got you. Let's go. The question: do you know you? Some talking question, but if you don't have the answer, tune in me. I'll help you out. That's what I do for you. Let's go. Know thyself. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple. You teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got you. A person who knows not and believes and think they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows but knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I'm a spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know that self. Until my yacht be true. Today, I came up with this concept watching one of my teachers, and he gave a perfect example of they asked him about the Christ. He said, I don't get into that. Why? I am the Christ. I made this same statement a few years ago, so let's revisit right thinkers. Let's talk about knowing thyself is knowing you are the Christ. So let's talk about it right quick. I got a quick lesson for you. My concept, and see how you feel about this one. Right thinking's philosophy gives you self-knowledge, aka spiritual truth, so that you can what? Know thyself. I give lessons every day to help you do just that. So this is what the ancients practice. This is why I continue to practice. And I use it every day. I can tell you whether you agree, believe or not. I know it works, so practice it. You'll know for yourself. That's my goal, to get everybody who want to follow right thinking philosophy. Practice it. You'll see it work. So let's go. Self-knowledge. You got biblical knowledge, scholarly knowledge. None of that holds a candle to self-knowledge. Hence, know thyself. Self-knowledge is the best knowledge. Why? When you know thyself, you know everything you need to know. I have a vast knowledge and understanding of a whole lot of things. I know about a whole bunch of stuff. I study, I learn, I pay attention. That's what I want to do. But I know myself. Once I know me, I can branch out and take on anything else I want. But if you take on all that stuff and don't know thyself, you're going ass backwards. Don't go out the world with everything except you. Let's talk about this guy, Jesus, that y'all so in love with. Let me just use an example. I'm content. When I'm talking Christian concept or biblical concept, I'm speaking from my experience of learning from going to church and practicing with Christian concepts. That's how I know it. I don't study it. I don't practice it per se, but I get my lessons every week. So I'm learning that way. And I'm speaking from that experience. Jesus did what? Obtain what? Self-knowledge. He was anointed, what they said, with what? Knowledge of self. He knew God. He says his father, my father and I are one. He gave all kind of examples of within. God is within. Don't look for God out there. He's inside you. He told y'all that. I've been telling you that since we started. That's not going to change because that's a fact. How you feel and think about that means nothing to me. I'm not here to debate with you about what I know to be. So I'm just giving a lesson. Moving on. Self-knowledge can be learned and should be taught to our young. Why? For their benefit, for their life. If you have the truth early, that's why Jesus got his stuff together. Why? He got the truth early. He learned it, mastered it, and went about his life. And what happened? Working for God, being God's son, cost him his life. Why is it that good guys get killed? The bad guys live to be old. Really mean that one, Batman. Moving on. In religion, Christians want to be what? Like Christ. Be Christ. But that's who you are if you get knowledge of self and raise your conscious level to know that self. Calm down. I don't mind understanding the concept. Like good Lord, excited. Knowing thyself is what? Living and learning the spiritual truth. That's what I did. He had no idea about no spiritual truth. But he knew who on outside the streets about them drugs. Because of my personal experience with God, I call it epiphany, life-changing experience. Why? I have been practicing, studying, just doing all the stuff I'm learning, practicing, and when it happened, I'm freaked out. But since it happened, I've been a different person. Why? I had my dance. If you haven't had a God experience, or I call a but God moment in your life, you still searching. Don't worry, you'll find him. He'll be there. If you do what you're supposed to do, he'll do what he's supposed to do. Moving on. The phrase, they said, if you knew better, you do better. What you think that phrase means? With knowledge, you can do better. Knowledge of self, you can be your best self. With knowledge of self, if you practicing or worshiping a God that you don't know, that make what sense? There's some spiritual truths in the religions. I know that. Why? I studied them. So that I do know. Always told you that. I don't want some spiritual truth. I want Maya, all spiritual truth. Simply that, across the board. Knowing and believing in your spiritual truth means what? Nothing. Not a damn thing. But when you start manifesting your spiritual truths by living them and producing them for yourself, it makes every difference, make all the difference in the world. Now, better to have it, don't need it, than need it, don't have it. If you need God and you ain't got him, it's a you problem. Jesus Christ was what? Spiritually enlightened being. Walking earth. He knew himself. He knew Father and him was one. He tried to educate his apostles. I remember quick when he told you how to stay woke. Well, he went and prayed, came back, you was asleep. So don't go sleep on yourself. With knowledge of self, you can learn the lessons. You didn't create. Jesus didn't create nothing. He didn't make nothing. He learned and lived. Like I'm doing. I didn't make nothing up. I didn't reinvent nothing. I just took what I learned and passed it on. Mixed it up with my experience and giving it to you. Making sure it's digestible. That's my job. Let's go. Here you go. Christ is what? A state of mind, not a person. Each person who reaches Christ's consciousness is Christ in the flesh. I do on my computer, I send information out. If I get something that I know is worth having, I'm gonna send it to my friends. If you're on my friend list, you're gonna get information. I'm just doing it to enlighten. If you don't want it, let me know and I'll take you off the list because I'm just giving information. This is age of Aquarius. Information is ready. If somebody's ignorant of themselves now, that's a them problem. Right thinking philosophy will make you what? God conscious, aka know thyself. That's the goal. I'm getting a little heated, getting a little hot up in here. All right, let's go. Now watch this. If you're Christ-like, AK meaning Christ conscious. And most Christians who follow Christ become Christ-like through what? Living it. So they practice it because they live it. So they know and understand how it works for them. I'm seeing it for myself, so I know firsthand. Again, if I didn't see it, I couldn't tell you. And the way Christ said if it wasn't true, I wouldn't tell you. I don't lie to you. I just give you the best opportunity and information that I got that you can use. Moving on. If you're Christ conscious, you're a right thinker. That means you living right and virtuous. You are Christ-like. Right thinkers, we are Christ. Once we reach the level of Nehas, that's what Christ did. They just didn't call it that way. They didn't know, but it's the same thing. When you have your own, here we go. When you have your own God experience, one or two things gonna happen. You'll change your ways and you'll become a servant or a follower, believer, whatever. I call myself a servant to God. Why? Because I'm doing godly work, trying to help you know who God is for yourself. I'm not here to preach. I'm here to teach. And teaching me, I'm going to give you something that you can use that's going to get you somewhere. Moving on. And watch this. When you have your own God experience, and that's what the whole purpose of worship, living, study, to get his okay, to earn his blessings. So you go through life. I'm blessed every day. I don't share with nobody, mostly why? Everybody ain't. If you can say, I'm blessed every day, then you living right. It's a whole bunch of us. Not enough, but it's some of us out here, and that's what I'm trying to show you. If we just multiplying, if you see somebody doing something good and constructive, you might want to, adopt that, that philosophy, so to speak. So if you got a good Christian, hang out with a good Christian, go to church with them, follow the tenets of Christianity, and become a good Christian. You want to be a right thinker? Tune in to me. I got you. Let's go. And watch this. When you know God for yourself, when you know that you and God are one, ain't that what Jesus said to you? My Father and I are one. Father and I are one too. He's just in spirit now. Listen to this. The only way to what? Know thyself and God is to what? Live by your spiritual truth. Religions included, they have some spiritual truths in this. Again, if you live by them, you will be rewarded. Why? God don't care what religion you call. He care about the deeds that you do. And if you're living by the tenets that your religion profess, and they all do, you'll be fine. If you're a hypocrite, if you're a perpetrator of the faith, you get nothing. Remember, you BS the baker, you get a bun. You BS God, you get none. And Jesus was not God. Christ is not God. It's a concept. Truth, no matter who and where it comes from, is truth, first of all. Now, what you call it, just like God, don't matter. It's what you do with it. If you live it, manifest it, it's the truth that you produce. If the truth that you know you ain't doing nothing about it, how do you know it's the truth? If you ain't producing and manifesting nothing, you can't tell me that's the truth. Moving on. Jesus was his first name. Or it wasn't even Jesus, it was Jesus or Yahshua, all that nonsense, but it's to the plan. The first name, okay. That last name signified Christ, what he was. That wasn't his last name. Please understand that. A lot of y'all probably don't. So I'm educating you to your philosophy that I don't even follow. But I understand it, so I can present it in a case where I'm using it to make a point, to prove a point, simple as that, or to enlighten and educate. That's my deal. Jesus is the first name. Christ is the state of mind that he reached, aka Nehas or know thyself. If you become a right thing philosophy master, you will have reached the same level of intellect and understanding, Christhood, knowledge of self for yourself. If you want to be like Christ, live right. I ain't even trying to be like Christ, but I'm doing what Christ did, teaching, living, and doing God's work. I ain't running here professor. I'm the son of God. I'm doing all that nonsense. No, I'm just the right thinking man, helping those who want to be educated, enlightened to a philosophy that works. I'm your man. Let's go. Right thinker, watch this. Right thinkers, we had Haru, who is who we want to become. Raise your conscious level, your best self through what? Only way, like Christ said, only way through the Father is through me. That means righteous living, virtuous things that you do, your actions will get you to God. That's what he was saying. And he said, the only you want to become Haru is who right thinkers want to become through what? Righteous and virtuous living. When? Daily. You can't do it today and think, well, I served God, I did my job, so tomorrow I'm a wild out. Don't work that way. I signed on. Okay, I got to do this every day. I ain't got to follow with that, fool. But that's the part I laugh because why? If you sign on to do something, don't all of a sudden, well, nope, nope. You signed on, so I'm here. I'll be here tomorrow. I'll be here as long as I can be doing what I'm doing for you. Let's go. Now, when you reach Christ consciousness, the state of mind, a lot of Christians have. I respect and admire that. Why? Because that's how they got there. I know that. hmm You don't get Christ-like. You don't become conscious of yourself without putting in the work. Your study time. Going to church is fine. Knowing the story is fine. But if you ain't putting in your study time for yourself and manifesting the truth for yourself, it ain't gonna work. A lot of y'all doing just that. That's why it don't work. But if you do it right, it works every time. With knowledge of self, you are Christ-like. That's what Christ was. He had knowledge of himself. You can know God for yourself. That's what Jesus did. He didn't have a middleman. He ain't the middleman. But sorry about that. Get back to the lesson. If you want to know God for yourself, all you gotta do, live right, okay, and do the right things to what? Receive your blessings from who? God. If you wonder, well, who watching me? Who seeing if I'm doing right? He is. That's why I got the eye. All seeing. He sees. He hears. He knows all. Trust me. And if he was up there, he couldn't do that. He got to do it from within. Moving on. Last one. Let me wrap this up. Yeah, let me right on. Let's go. Wrap it up. Christ was always in me. To be conscious of himself, we all born with Christ conscious that we can relate to and reach to. Why? That's the chakras. That's the serpent power. That's raising the kundalini. That's becoming conscious of self, your higher self. We know our lower self to be us. That's the ego self. That's easy. Raise it. Moving on. When I was ignorant of the Christ in me, I did what? I lived wrong. I was just wrong. Didn't think twice, couldn't care less, but that's what ego would do. Now that I have Christ, like, now that I'm Christ, like, when they say go to church and living right, okay, I hang out with Christians. My pastor said, brother, right? You in the police car, the police uniform, you riding around the police, you police. You're a Christian. They respect my church family respects me as a Christian. I present myself as a Christian, not to be phony or fake. I just come to fellowship with Christians. So yeah, I'm a Christian on Sundays. Understand that. Why is this? Now, being spiritually ignorant is not Christ-like, ain't right thinking like. It's just being ignorant. A lot of us are. Being ignorant is what? Not knowing thyself. You have no spiritual knowledge, and that's what makes you ignorant. You just don't know. You can learn, you can choose what to do, but if you don't, that's what it means. Ignorant means not knowing. Stupid means not wanting to know. Dumb means can't know. All different meanings, but we all think they mean the same thing. No, they don't. They're all different. So we need to get the definition to the word. Know the definition of the word. If I kept confusing words with definition, I couldn't teach you nothing. Why? Well, I said this, but I meant that. Well, I didn't mean I said that. That's sorry about that. But I get a lot of that. So understand, before you speak, think right. Right think again, or what? We're spiritually enlightened beings because of the work that we put in to obtain that level of knowledge and understanding for yourself. We are AKA Christ in the flesh. That's just who we are. Got another lesson for that, but this lesson is about when knowing thyself is the same as being Christ-like. Moving on. Last one to wrap it up. I appreciate you too. I hope you got the lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Right thinkers, we can say it loud and proud. What? Like James Brown said, I'm telling you, I know thyself, And I'm Jesus. No, excuse me. I'm Christ. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. Are you Christ? I'll be back.